Well, let's go straight across to Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, who joins us tonight on what's been a big day for India at the International Court of Justice. Congratulations, sir. Certainly a huge relief for India and a big win diplomatically and legally. Sir, if you could explain to us legally what happens, from here on. What are the next steps?
No, unless and until you understand what we did there and what was our case, you will not be able to appreciate what happened here on. On the 25th of March, only 4 dates, Nidhi, they are very important for the viewers to know. On 25th of March 2016, India was intimated by Pakistan that Jadhav has been arrested. We sought 13-time consular access thereafter. After nearly a year in January, they said that unless you assist in investigation, it shall not be allowed. India again kept on pestering that unless you allow access, how can we assist even in investigation? We need to know what he did, why he was arrested. On 10th of April, there was a public declaration by Pakistani press that the army court has given capital punishment to Jadhav. And the army chief has confirmed it. And on the same day, they are conveying to India that you are yet to respond to our request for assistance in investigation. This is the farce trial which happened. 2, Nidhi, very important, Vienna Convention has been acceded to by India and Pakistan both, which deals with consular access only. And we invoked this jurisdiction and said, here is a case so glaring with all the documents. I am having the petition before me. And there is a unanimous finding by the court, and I would seek your kind indulgence to allow me to read it. Operative portion, Nidhi. Pakistan shall take all measures at disposal to ensure that Mr. Jadhav is not executed pending final decision proceeding, and shall inform the court of all the measures taken in implementation of the present order. Now, I would say, and I am proud of my Prime Minister and the External Affairs Ministry, the Minister and other, I was also a part of the whole team. It was a team effort, but obviously the PM gave the go-ahead. Today, Nidhi, Pakistan is before the bar of the international justice system. Here I say, what is the future ahead? The matter is pending, I cannot make any comment, except to remind your viewers and through your viewers to the world, that Ajmal Kasab was arrested in Mumbai in the Mumbai massacre. Pakistan disowned him. We gave him a lawyer in the district court,
Absolutely.
a further big lawyer in the High Court, and a top senior advocate in the Supreme Court, Raju Ramchandran. Though the world has seen how he killed Indians, this is India's adherence to rule of law. Now let Pakistan explain before the bar of world justice system.
Absolutely, and that's a point that is repeatedly brought up with Pakistani guests as well on programs, and I don't think they've been able to give an effective answer to that. But Mr. Prasad, on the issue of consular access to Jadhav, now this is a very important point. Today the MEA said that it's not going to comment on this issue right now because it's sub judice, and that of course the request for consular access remains with Pakistan, and they have to give it. Are you a little worried about Mr. Jadhav's, physical well-being, his condition? We don't know how he is, where he's being kept, how his health is. We don't know anything about him. Do you think the Pakistanis are deliberately not giving us access to him?
Nidhi, first thing you must understand, consular access plea we have taken as an integral to a free and fair trial. Therefore, we have stated that because consular access has been voluntarily accepted in the shape of Vienna Convention acceptance by India and Pakistan, there is a moral obligation to follow international norms, well recognized. And the question is, what happens if there is a violation with impunity of such an international obligation? The consequence. And as the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs rightly pointed out, the matter is sub judice. I should also refrain as the Law Minister of India, except to reiterate again, Pakistan today is standing at the cusp of the bar of international justice system. And Nidhi, don't forget, Pakistan appeared before the proceeding, came with a lawyer, and the argument and the brilliant argument of my good friend Harish Salve, I need to compliment him through your channel, and the argument of the Pakistani lawyer was beamed alive world over, including on your channel. So Pakistan cannot say this order is behind their back.
No, absolutely. Let me though ask you, Mr. Prasad, because you talked about how the fact that the government decided to go to the international court. It was a decision, obviously, that must have been very, very carefully weighed by you, by Sushma Swaraj, by the Prime Minister, because we went to the international court for the first time since 1971. And therefore, what went into that decision making? Was it a very difficult decision to make?
First of all, the go-ahead came from the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is always keen to take a risk like this for the sake of every Indian, because we went to International Court of Justice in our capacity as a guardian of an Indian national. That is our moral duty. And Nidhi, you may recall, you follow foreign policy very closely, what we do in rescuing Indians in Yemen, in Iraq, that is well known to you. The Indian Air Force plane were sent, Mr. V.K. Singh was meant to sit there, Sushma ji kept on monitoring, that's how we work. But here, we were seeking to open a window. And the window is, if the Vienna Convention, voluntarily acceded to by India and Pakistan, which only and only deals with consular access, is being violated with impunity, should we not bring Pakistan to task? That, and mind you, Nidhi, again you follow foreign policy very closely. We are not questioning the sovereignty of Pakistan. Bilateral issues are bilateral issue. But here, the whole issue arose of rank human right violation because of blatant denial of the safeguards of consular access required for a fair trial.
You used a very interesting word. So you said that India decided to take the risk of going to the international court because the life of an Indian was involved. Why do you think it's a risk? Because I think some former diplomats have wondered whether in future, by going to the international court, in future, suppose we arrest a Pakistani terrorist, that Pakistan may decide to approach the ICJ and make a similar demand and try to internationalize issues between India and Pakistan. Why did you use the term risk?
The reply is very simple, Nidhi. You remember when the attack happened in Indian Parliament, the terrorists from Pakistan, their bodies were recovered, we got their identity, and we kept on intimating Pakistan, they are your national, take them away. You remember that?
Yeah.
They had sought to kill India in the Indian entire political leadership. I just told about Ajmal Kasab. Therefore, regardless of whatever eminent diplomats, former diplomats say, there is no case of comparison between India and Pakistan. On the contrary, as the Law Minister of India, let me proudly very affirm on your channel, Nidhi, we are proud of our rule of law. That those who kill with impunity will also get justice in a free and fair manner. And that's what we are articulating. Namely, consular access is integral to a fair trial. And that obligation becomes all the more onerous when you are charging someone with a capital punishment offense, which you have given. It goes to the root of the matter. That's the limited thing which we have articulated.
Well, Mr. Prasad, finally, I'll ask you again, are you worried about Kulbhushan Jadhav's well-being? And I'm asking that because, again, we don't know how he is, where he is, in what condition he is. And we just had a panel on the program where there was some concern that maybe they're not giving us consular access for two reasons. Either, he's being kept in a very bad condition, and B, because, we'll know the truth, obviously, once he speaks to us.
Well, Nidhi, in reply to your query, I can only say, Sushma ji assured on the floor of the Parliament that we will leave no stone unturned to bring him to justice, to bring him back to India, and all these initiatives must be seen in pursuit of that larger objective. That's what we are doing. And let me repeat again, Pakistan today stands at the cusp of international justice system. Pakistan is on test.
Absolutely, and it certainly has been a big day for India at the International Court, Mr. Prasad. We certainly hope that going from here onwards as well, as the court now begins to hear the full case, that India continues to make its case strongly there at The Hague. Thank you very much for joining us, the Union Law Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, outlining why this has been such an important day for India and why the onus really is on Pakistan. There is a moral and a legal responsibility that Pakistan has to follow through on the International Court's order and to ultimately provide consular access. Will that access happen? We still don't know. At the moment, there are no signs of that happening, but the Pakistani Attorney General, all he said is that they believe that these are procedural issues, and it certainly is clear, though, from the International Court's ruling today that it's much more than that. The very fact that the International Court of Justice has decided to hear this case, that it has stayed Mr. Jadhav's execution, is, as Ambassador K.C. Singh rightly said earlier, about 50% of the battle won, and that itself should send a message to Pakistan. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow.